Alex, if you could use as much English as you can throughout this interview, that would be great. Appreciate it.
Shama.
Okay, great. Alex, what's your game plan going into this huge fight against Ankalaev?
Shama.
Okay, Shama, yep. Now, do you plan on using leg kicks to keep him at distance?
Shama.
Okay, Shama. Yeah, I mean, could you elaborate on that? I know you said Shama.
Yeah, Shama.
Shama, okay. And what's your final message to Ankalaev ahead of the fight?
Shama.
Okay, there you have it. Shama. Thank you very much, Alex. I appreciate your time. I'm here with Alex Pereira, head of UFC 313. Now, there's been videos online of you handing out cash and Rolexes to strangers on the street. Can I get some?
You got to be at the right place at the right time, maybe.
What makes you so generous to your fans?
What you saw there was we were generating contact with Moses, the jeweler. You know, he's got his jewelry shops in New York. He does that a lot on the streets. I kind of do my donations in a different way. You might have seen me donating food and all that kind of stuff in Brazil. But even in that situation, it's cool to be there and in contact with people and motivating people.
You offered Ankalaev a $200,000 bet where the loser would have to pay $200,000 to charity. What made you want to put out the challenge and the bet?
You know, it's one of those things that sometimes people are so sure, so certain of what's going to happen, and why not bet 200 grand if you're so convicted of what you're going to do, of what's going to happen. So, you know, I did that, and it just proved him that he's just trying to mess with my head.
He refused the bet on Twitter. Do you think that you got into his head?
For sure, I got in his head. You know, first of all, that was to be able to help people out, and I already help people out in a lot of ways. People send me messages, oh, you can still donate, you can still do this. I still help them. In a lot of ways, I do whatever I can, but that was really to show that he's not as confident as he's saying he is. You know, I'll give you an example. You see my camera guy over there. He's a smaller guy. He probably weighs 155 pounds. And if we were to fight and somebody say, hey, are you willing to bet 200 grand that you're going to beat that guy? Of course I'm going to bet 200 grand. I train. He's a camera guy. That is not his obligation to be able to be a fighter. I'm a fighter. So why wouldn't I take that chance? Why wouldn't I spend 200 grand to something that I know I'm going to win?
It's for a good cause as well, and it's for a good cause. Now, you guys have been beefing on Twitter. He calls you the voodoo magic guy. He's saying that you go to UFC events to drink alcohol. Has it become personal between you two?
You know, honestly, that kind of upsets me, that commentary about the alcohol, because I went through that problem, and it's not something that only the person who drinks goes through. It's the families and everyone that's around those people, and the family is a sacred thing. So for him to say that, I feel like he's obviously talking about me, but I'm in the spotlight right now, so that spreads out to a lot of people that are going through something like that. He can't place a bet for charity for something good, but he can say things like that. It's hard to understand.
You took to Twitter and said you shaved your head and it's time to kill. Now the fans want to know, will you ever bring this haircut back, the Aztec haircut?
Honestly, with everything that's around fighting in the UFC, that haircut takes a lot of time. So it'd be a lot of time that I have to put away, a lot of energy. So no, that's not happening here.
People like DC and Chael Sonnen have said you may not be taking the fight seriously. You've been traveling around Australia, been shaking hands with Drake. Have you been taking the fight seriously, and how's your preparation been?
You know, obviously I'm taking this fight seriously. That's my lifestyle. Everyone's seen it. I know I'm very committed to my responsibilities, even though I'm traveling and doing everything. And, you know, what I can say about those comments is that they're just chasing views. You know, there's Cormier said that I was in Australia and I was at the Drake show and all these things. And, you know, Chael even said something to me one time about feeling some energy or whatever it was. And then when I saw him last time in December at the MMA Awards, I shook his hand and I said, do you feel it? What do you feel now? Kind of joked with him. You know, I saw he's a serious guy. He's a good guy. He was with his wife. And then I saw that he mentioned to DC saying that I told him, hey, shake my hand harder. You're shaking my hand like a girl or something. That's not something I would ever say. That's not something that would come out of my mouth. So I definitely think a lot of that is just for views.
Your prediction, Pereira versus Ankalaev, how does the fight go?
Shama.
I think that means a Pereira knockout. Do you think you'll be able to stop his wrestling? As he said, he wants to test your wrestling.
Shama.
In Sydney, you and Israel Adesanya squashed your beef. You guys have become friends now. Have you spoken since, and do you plan on training together soon?
You know, we had made our peace before Sydney. You know, rivalries are part of the game, and it's a lot of hyping up and a lot of things are said. But, you know, we'd made our peace before that, and then we saw each other in Sydney, and we talked about training together, and it was great.
Alexander Usyk says he wants to face Alex Pereira before he retires. Is that a fight that you want to happen?
For sure. That's something that I had mentioned before, but that was on me, and now he's mentioned it too, so it's possible.
Now, Dricus du Plessis says he wants to face you next. In Sydney, you said you looked at him from Strickland's corner and said he's just too small. Is he an easy opponent for you?
Yeah, I think it makes sense. You know, champ versus champ. I think those are the kind of fights that make sense.
Yes.
I do think I'm a little bigger, a little heavier than him, but I don't think that'll make a difference. People might say, obviously, because you're the heavier one, but I'm willing to go up to heavyweight too. So.
Alex Pereira has the scariest stare down in the UFC. Let's see what it looks like to stare down Alex Pereira. Okay, that's very scary. Okay, show him.